Knowing is my only possibility. I cannot do. I am that field of nothingness. Only when I forget myself, I forget that I am the field of nothingness, I assume to be the body and mind. Yeah? Just like in the dream, I assume to be the dream character. And then I feel the tiger is really running behind me. And I'm really experiencing the fear, and I'm sweating, and I'm running, and I'm feeling that I am caught up in this misery. What happens when you wake up from the dream? Is the tiger there? Is the fear there? Is that sweating and that running and that whole miserable scenario there? It's gone in a jiffy. Yeah. Knowing is my only possibility. Neither am I the doer, nor am I the experiencer. It's a personal journey, Edward. When you start recognizing it, a distance starts developing. Have you started noticing the distance between I, that field of nothingness, and the body mind called Edward? Yeah. So this distance is automatic. It grows automatically as you just soak in this understanding that I can only know. I cannot create a thought. I cannot control how long it will remain. I cannot even push it away. I cannot create a sensation. I cannot control how long it will play. I cannot push it away. I am just mistakenly assuming that I am experiencing this sensation. This clarity will start happening the more you soak in this understanding. Yeah, that's why I insist all the time, be more in silent self-exploration than in the outside world. Yeah. Again and again here. Even listening to too much Advaita gets the intellect trapped in the listening, in words. Yeah? You have to listen a little bit, take your pointer, I'm going to work on this one this week, and then turn in. Yeah? And when you've turned in, that is what I call soaking in the nothingness. Soaking in this new understanding of who I am. The more you soak in it, the more it becomes clear. And it starts becoming clearer and clearer and clearer. And obviously, your family members are not going to see what's happening here. But you will start seeing them as just other dream characters in my dream world. What is the point of taking this dream so seriously? It's a dream. This becomes your own inner understanding, not what the scriptures are saying, not what an external spiritual teacher is saying, but what I recognize from my own understanding now. So, naturally, your intensity of the way you went out and got consumed in the role as a father, as a mother, as a child, or as the spouse, that intensity with which you went out to grasp that relation, it starts now crumbling. It's only an image playing on the screen, and the screen is also me only. The intensity of every relationship being so overwhelming starts diminishing now. Yeah? Everything starts becoming very easy. Just like how you would play when you were a little kid. Your toy would break, you'd feel the pinch for a moment, but next moment you've forgotten that toy, you're playing with another one. Yeah? And slowly, slowly as you grew out of the attachment of all toys. Do you remember that happening slowly, slowly? same thing, exactly the same thing happens on this path of Advaita. Provided you keep soaking in self-exploration again and again and again. Some of us have developed reasoning capability. Those people get it very quickly. Some of us are not very good at reasoning. We take some time. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take our time, but we can all get there. Inner critical thinking, inner reasoning, inner recognition is required for self-exploration. Yeah, this is something which is very important on the path of Advaita. So you keep soaking in that inner self-exploration and you will get there.
There's so much difference between intellectual understanding and when actually the experience happens.
Yes.
Now, all your words totally have a different meaning. The contemplation videos, the knower. Now I know what the knower is. And when we hear Atmananda's words that world is of no self, I used to wonder what that means. Now I see that the knowingness and arisings were first together. Now the gap is so much more. And as that gap grows more and more, the arisings will fizzle out, whereas the knowingness will expand and expand. And that is what is the world is full of myself.
Super.
This knowingness.
Super.
It just feels like automatically, like my hands, they're just moving automatically. As you just described, taking a shower, brushing teeth, you just know that it's like a dumb, muted knowingness, cannot do anything but just know.
Yes.
And there is all this movement happening in the body, the sensations. You're just not in control of it. It feels crazy. It exactly feels like when I'm driving through a tunnel. And at that time, I get that same feeling that, oh my God, I'm not in control. I'm just moving. And you're scared that you're just moving. You can't control it. And it's exactly like that now in every action of life. Things are just happening. And it's also a relief. Let's say it's a freedom and a relief.
Yes.
Because now you're not the doer anymore.
Superb. So what he's saying is, I do not have to react to every thought and every sensation that arises. Yeah? The problem of the ego is it is always identifying with every thought that arises and says, see, I am thinking like this is the way it is, this is blah, 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 blah. It holds on to it and it creates a story. This is a reaction. I do not need to react to every thought. Yeah? Similarly, a sensation arises in the body or a mental feeling arises. What happens to you? This is happening because of this, This happened, that is why blah, 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 blah. There another story created. Do you see this tendency? So he's telling you, don't react. You don't need to react to every thought and every sensation or feeling that arises. Everything arises, plays for a while and goes away. Yeah? Abhijit, I want you to move one more step beyond that understanding now. Yeah? This is fast track level understanding. Good. At Atma Nirvriti, next level we work on, I cannot react to the thought. I cannot react to the sensation. I simply am the knower. Yes, work on this level now. Those who feel that yes, they are getting glimpses of this, fantastic, work on this. I cannot, it's not in my hands only to react. a thought is not in my control, then how can reacting to the thought also be in my control? An action is not in my control, no? How can reacting to that action be in my control? A feeling or sensation that arose is not in my control. I just saw that. How can reacting to that feeling or sensation be in my control? Reaction also happens of its own accord. Non-reaction also happens of its own accord. I simply know. I want you to work on that. This is a self-exploration. You cannot by heart this intellectually and blurt it out and expect that somebody says that, oh wow, fantastic, pat on your back, you got it. Great Advaita. No point. Yeah? Not intellectually. I have to see nothing is in my control. I am only the knower. That is the only possibility for me. Swati wrote an email to me. Very beautifully you described it. What? The knowers. I don't know what you said. Can you unmute her if she remembers what she wrote?
So, yeah, while I was writing something, I realized that the action was happening elsewhere, and then the knower was tied, the hands and the legs were tied, the senses were tied. It couldn't do anything but just know that this action is happening.
Yeah.
And then a thought arose that said, I am writing. And I could recognize that's fake. It's just a thought. All that I'm doing is knowing. Right now, as I'm talking, I'm just knowing the words that are coming out of me. That's all that's happening. I am not talking.
Super. Remember her words, as if your hands and legs are tied. Yeah, it's just not possible for you to do, think, act, react. All these things are just words. This is just English vocabulary you are using. Yeah? There is no I. So this is quite mind-blowing in itself.